Welcome to Jeff and A. Let's do some Jeffing around, huh? Alright, you might notice from my last video I'm looking a little different. Well, yesterday, as usual, I tried trimming up the beard, and that's always a mistake. I always end up screwing it up every time I trim. So hey, I'm here today in Longwood, Florida, one of the areas of Orlando, and we're going to check out the coolest toy shop I have ever been in, ACME Comics and Toys. Now, anytime I've been in any other kind of cool retro toy shop, I've still never seen one quite as big as ACME, and they never seem to have the selection. This place is really cool. Let's go check it out. Yeah, this place is insanely big. Old school retro Snake Eyes G.I. Joe figure, first wave, for the decorations on the wall here, the window. You got the old school Boba Fett panel on the window. Yeah. Seriously, wait till you get a load of this place. Batman. Superman. Right off the bat.
Hello, welcome in.
Hey. Tons of stuff. This place is massive. Literally, if you had it as a kid, they probably have it. The ceiling. Oh, I had this old school Batman and this old school Flash. Those were two of my earliest superhero toys. That's a crazy Venom mask. Nice. Green Goblin. This is all just DC. Loose figures over here. I had a Lex Luthor in that same color, but that's obviously a newer figure. And same exact colors as the old Hawkman that I had, but obviously that's a newer figure. That's cool. What is that, Bizarro? Is that what they call him? I don't know who that guy is, but he's worth $130 here. Yeah, I guess this is all DC still over here. All kinds of Green Lanterns. I don't know that big gorilla. I guess he must be a Green Lantern. Yeah, this whole aisle is DC, I guess. Not quite. Looks like we got some Marvel over here. Almost called that the Power Glove. The Infinity Gauntlet. I had this Batman. In the gold packaging, I remember him. Fortress of Solitude. I didn't know they made that. We're getting into Marvel, Avengers, X-Men. Loose figures and bags. Yeah, this place is nuts. If they don't have it, you don't want it. That's cool. Marvel Monsters, Legends. This place is just... We're still only in the first tile, too. Lego stuff. Yeah. And wait till you see some of the dioramas they have here. It's insane, especially with the Star Wars. Oh, you can get an arcade game, Marvel Capcom table. This gimbal. Gotta recenter it. There we go. Kinds of Funkos. Simpsons. Huh. Two-headed Burns Homer. Donut Head Homer. Family Guy. I don't think I've ever seen those. Who is Butthead? Oh, Beavis and Butthead. They just look different. Can't believe I had to ask who is Butthead. Didn't even think of Beavis. Care Bears. Getting into sports toys. WWF. Well, WWE was WWF when I was a kid. Hot Wheels. Thomas the Train. Here we're getting into some retros, some My Little Pony. Old Pez dispensers. This place is awesome. You could literally spend all day in here and not see everything. California Raisins. I had some of these. And the Smurfs. They got more Smurfs over here. I didn't have these Smurfs. I had these kind of Smurfs. I've never seen these. Oh, I guess they're Lego, maybe? Looks like. Huh. Viewmaster. I don't know the brown Viewmaster. I had that red one, though. I remember the shape of that brown one, but I had it in red or white with red. Care Bears. Strawberry shortcake. Seriously, they have all the old toys you remember. If there was a collectible drinking glass you had as a kid, they probably have it here. It's just endless aisle upon endless aisle. Seriously, this place is unending. Wheel. Oh, Disney toys.
They're fantastic. They have come a long way.
Dinosaur.
Fun to build, fun to display.
They're on par with Gunpla.
I agree, yeah.
Lone Ranger guns. We had those. I had a toy gun that looked just like that.
I'm sure they will. I mean, they have no plans on slowing down.
This guy's making me think of Mr. Bubble. Dennis the Menace cocktail napkins. Weevil people. Or no, those were the Fisher Price. The Weevil people were round on the bottom. Oval like an egg. I remember him. He was Looney Tunes, wasn't he?
Yeah, man, they're cool. You get a bunch in those. And then I think some light up, too.
I think most of them do, actually.
Cool. Well, have a great one, man. Thanks for coming by.
Tons of comics. Silver Surfer. Spider-Man's got somebody trying to sneak in through the ceiling.
I wanted to, like, buy
We got Batman over here. Hulk smashed through the wall. I'm Batman. I wish I got into comics, but I could never focus enough to read them. I'd look at the pictures, but try to read them. The different panels would just start to jumble, and my eyes would lose focus. I couldn't read comics for the life of me. I tried. It always bugged me when they started re-releasing the G.I. Joe figures that they changed them. I wish you could still get the old school style. G.I. Joe Trooper. Looks very generic. You got the old school Snake Eyes looking more like he did in the cartoon. He was actually blue.
Do you mind helping Mr. Newman with the key real fast? Yes.
Ninja Turtles. I had that. The sewer.
Hold the thought for just a second.
Who's that guy?
That's probably fine.
He got a bunch of sewers. I always wanted that. Never had a Technodrome.
Any more from here?
I don't remember that two-headed dinosaur for He-Man. Ghostbusters Firehouse, I remember that. I don't remember the cardboard backdrop of it. Huh. Muscle. I remember these guys. I had a ton of those. Absolutely loved Mask. I had all of these. That car was really cool. And these things, I still have some of these at my home now. None of the, not that base, but the figures and a couple smaller vehicles. I'm going to have to bring them here. These were fun. What were they called? Oh. They were in space. They had wings. Their arms popped out. Ah, man, I can't recall what they were called. Choose the Destructor. We got a massive Stay Puft up there. He's at least like 1.5 feet tall. Loved my G.I. Joes. My absolute favorite show, cartoon, toys. But it's one that I never got around to collecting when they started remaking them. I never got any of the bigger ones. Now, Star Wars, there was a period where I was collecting, but G.I. Joe, I guess I was just always so bitter they weren't the same. Storm Shadow, one of my favorites. Yeah, they just look too weird. The body's extra skinny, weirdly muscular. It just didn't look the same. Now, these were my G.I. Joes. These ones. Although I wouldn't have put that Transformer in there. Did they? I don't remember. Back in the day, the crossover and the toys. Transformers aisle. Now, I didn't get into Transformers. I didn't really like the cartoon all that much. I liked the GoBots. They were a lot easier to form. GoBots, you move like 3 parts and you got your robot. Transformers, I couldn't figure half of them out. As far as me owning Transformers, they might have just been called, this thing is going to end up broken. Who's that guy? I recognize him. He's not Iron Giant, is he? Or is he from something else? Which I haven't actually seen the Iron Giant. That's got to be Street Fighter 2, but I don't remember toys coming out. Those are probably newer, I guess. They weren't around as I was a teenager. Melting face dude from Indiana Jones. From Raiders. That's cool. The Three Caballeros. Old school Disney stuff. Old Star Trek toys. Spock back there. That is really cool. I am Iron Man. Is that Juggernaut a really ridiculous looking Juggernaut? James Bond.
With a little effort, you too can reach this level. Well, maybe not golden.
The Star Wars aisle. This is a cool aisle. Had that at. I never had that. The Cloud City flying vehicle. Whoa. I never had the escape pod either. My neighbor had it. Had that. Dagobah. I had that glass back there. Ooh, Ewok Village. Had that. Jabba. That's one of my favorite things ever. Not that version, but just Han Solo frozen in carbonite. I want a life-sized one. Oh, that's really cool. And really expensive. $4.79 for that speeder bike. It is pretty big though. Now these ones just too ridiculous looking. Exaggerated sized feet and fists and everything. I never could get into that. Like, look at this. Oh, that's cool. The bunker. You got the cantina back there set up. Oh, whoa. That's cool. Always wanted a Boba Fett helmet. Yeah, behind me there's a whole row of Star Wars. Traitor. I never got any of these bigger sized Star Wars figures. But I did collect some of the newer this size when the prequels came out, but not since then. These got a redoing. They're slightly different than the old style, but they didn't change as drastically as the G.I. Joe. What? I have never seen the Sarlacc pit before. That's crazy. Moving on to horror. Horror. Oh, that's cool. I've never seen this Terminator. What is this? That is so cool. But I don't have $1,500 to buy it. I don't know exactly what he is, but I want him. Doctor Who, which I've never seen. I would like to watch Doctor Who. No clue what you are from. Back to the Future. Mini lunchbox. Whoa. Freddy. Up here, we have got life-size Slammer and a gremlin. A few gremlins. That is so cool. The one with the mask. Whoa, life-size DT. And alternate vocation Yoda. They have Ted Lasso toys? Dinosaurs! You know, I didn't see any Tauntauns in the Star Wars aisle. That's kind of a bummer. Yappin', 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 yappin'. Yappin', yappin', yappin'. Yappin', yappin', yappin'. I had this indie. I never saw this size indie figures. I had that guy too. Sloth. E.T. Phone Home. E.T. Phone Home. E.T. phone home. The Idol. Penny Dreadful. That show made toys. Clerks made toys? Weird. These, I remember. I hadn't thought about these in forever. Spawn. Man, that was a cool comic. Well, I didn't read the comic, but I remember when there was an animated cartoon. The movie, not so great. The figures were really cool. Forgot all about Spawn. Jabberwocky. My mom used to call me that when I would not shut up. She'd call me a Jabberwocky. Terminator. I didn't know all these Terminator toys existed. I knew there were some. Blue Meanie. Beatles toys. Yellow Submarine. Spy versus Spy. Yeah, here we're getting into some old toys. Aleister Crowley? Or is it Anton LaVey? I'm not sure. Weird. Very cool, though. The Monkeys. That dude just looks old school. John Wayne. Like a 17, 19-inch John Wayne. That looks super old. The yellow figures. Star Trek VHS. It's Jesus. I think. That's a weird looking Ninja Turtle. The head is just way off. The thing is huge though. What they got back here? There goes the monorail. James Brown. Ray Charles. On the castle. Yeah, I told you this place had everything. It's pretty crazy. You got Jar Jar back there. What are these? Those are weird looking swords. They got a Who box. Or maybe that's just the door, I don't know. Jar Jar. With Christmas lights. You never get a good look at his hands. Do they really look like that in the movie? His arms? Is Jar Jar all tatted up? Those old Looney Tunes glasses. Mount Rushmore. Pac-Man and Ghosts. Full disclosure, I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing really when I'm filming in a store. You guys will have to let me know how I'm doing. I don't know if I'm overdoing it, not going slow enough. There's just so much to look at. I just don't ever have a game plan. I just start filming. He-Man. Ooh, the Predator. No, Alien. And this guy. Whoa. Face hugger. That's too cool. I need it. Look at the size of this Millennium Falcon. Not that one. That one. That thing is at least 6 feet. Whoa. 6 feet long, I'd say. That thing is massive. Princess Leia with the bun Mickey ears. 24 bucks. Kind of sells itself. Yeah, I feel like I could film in here all day, but that would probably start to get boring after a while. Hopefully it hasn't. Hopefully I kept your attention. But I'm still kind of new to filming in stores. I don't really have a game plan. I guess let's get out of here. And that's ACME Toys and Comics. Thanks for watching. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you consider subscribing and stick around. If you are subscribed, thank you. I really appreciate it. And as the sun slowly sets in the west, we bid you a fine farewell. This has been Jeffaround. And here it is, your moment of ducks. However, Buddy's always the first one to dip. Let's see what Buddy's up to. Sorry, it's extra jumpy when zoomed in. Bouncy. It won't be as bad. I am not a steady cam. I am a human being. Let's catch up with Buddy. I'll go faster. Buddy in the water. Loch Ness Buddy. The Loch Ness Duck. Loch Ness Muscovy.